Business around the world faces the biggest economic opportunity that it has faced since the Industrial Revolution. We've operated for the last several hundred years with the myth of infinite resources and the myth of infinite ability to throw things away to some unimagined place that we'll never see again. The opportunity is for business to learn to operate in harmony with the principles of the living systems on this planet that actually sustain the human economy. I can remember the moment in my life when I chose this work. So in 1972, I spent the summer working with Buckminster Fuller's organization, looking at what does it take to have a world that works? What does it take to have a planet that meets human needs successfully? We stood in the future of success, imagined success, and built the pathway back to where we were now, reverse engineering the impossible dream. And it was clear that the barrier lived more in human will than in scarcity of resources. That realization grounded an intuition that I had had for years, that this is doable, and not only doable, but profoundly thrilling. And for the past 40 years, I've been working to build bridges between the human economy and the living systems economy that sustains it. And for the last 20 years, helping companies design, implement, and measure profitable sustainability strategies.
I always think of him as one of my comrades on the route. He's got me beat by about 10 years. In the environmental field, I have 30 and he has 40. So for me, he feels like one of the originals.
You know, there are all of these people now talking this talk, and he was one of the first guys out there. So I think that he's authentic.
Gil was able to come in and ask us the right questions that got us reflecting and thinking about what was important to us.
We find that our clients are coming to us today with questions that are more fundamental. And our process in working with them typically starts with listening carefully to understand what their goals are, what their aspirations are, what success looks like for them.
What he really did was he brought us together to really vision what we thought was important around sustainability for the company and where we wanted to go.
How do we design the future that the company is going to step into? Because after all, what are human beings if not creatures of innovation?
You know, really what Gil did was bring order to the chaos. We had the right individual pieces, but without the cohesiveness that we needed. And once we got the cohesiveness, then it made it very simple to just lay out a strategic roadmap that everybody could rally behind and bring everybody together.
He knows that what you measure, you manage, and he knows that you have to measure what matters.
I enjoy the discovery and the unexpected aha, building the map, assessing the reality of the organization, understanding its strengths and weaknesses, and bringing that together in a clear, systematic, often graphic display that gives people a view of all the parts and all the pieces and how they fit together.
The time where Gil came in with a plotter-sized version of the roadmap, that's when I went, holy cow, this has a lot of moving parts to it. Now I get it, not just the small road ahead, but the big road ahead.
And it's at that point actually that the hard work begins. Because the next job is to take those ideas and move them out into the organization, to mobilize the organization.
It went from abstract roadmap to practical implementation led by direct labor in the factories. Not by me or not by Gil, but by people on the line that are actually taking responsibility at the point of execution.
Living systems operate on renewable energy, have no waste, have no persistent accumulated toxic materials, have very flat hierarchies of decision-making close to point of action. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. The R&D's already been done. We get to learn from living systems, as I've done through my life, and to see how this can teach us what we need to know.
He's just so passionate that he delves into this so much more deeply than a lot of people do. I think he's just like really, really deeply invested personally.
I believe in the possibility of the human spirit, in our ability to generate worlds that have never existed before or never even been imagined before. Changes happen rapidly in our society and our experience. Things that we've never imagined before become indispensable to our lives. How it's been is not a predictor of how it's going to be. We invent new worlds. That's our opportunity right now, today, in this decade.
The vision that we came up with continues to animate all of our actions, building sustainability into everything we do.
Engage, assess, design, mobilize, and measure provides a framework for taking an organization through that cycle at higher and higher levels each time, moving toward the aspirational goals and success that they've defined for themselves.
If you say fossil fuels cost this much, I want clean or renewable to cost this much.
We often work with our clients around questions of purpose. What is the purpose of your business? And individually with executives, we ask, what are you really here to do?
And now when I go to a cocktail party, I have nothing to worry about what am I doing, and am I doing my part, and am I going to make the change happen that I want to see, or am I going to talk about it?
What's your purpose? What are you really here to do?